Finally! Holy crap in a handbasket being shipped to the moon! As you can tell by my rupee count, I actually spent the entirety of while that last episode was rendering, grinding for money. And I never left Kakariko Village, so yes, that was going back and forth between the graveyard and the village, grinding single rupee by single rupee, partly to preserve the fact that it's nighttime, and also partly just because I wanted to kill time while I waited for a video to export. But my goodness, that took longer than it needed to. Hello everyone, I am Tessellating Hexagons. This is not Majora's Mask, for fuck's sake, this is Master Quest. And we're in Kakariko Village, and I'm gonna kill some golden skulltulas because there's... rude. There's a fair few here. In Master Quest 3D, those do 2 hearts of damage if you just casually walk into one, so, don't casually walk into one. Now, I think there are either 4 or 5, I think. Maybe, is there one in this tree? Yes, there is. I had a feeling there might have been. Because while I was grinding, obviously I did see a couple around town, so... There's 2. There is one in the graveyard that... Well, actually there are 2 in the graveyard that we can't get yet, but both for completely different reasons. So, I'll just round up the remaining ones. We're coming through here in a little while, but in the meantime, Skulltula on the back of this house. Lovely, lovely, love. Don't know what I'm trying to say here. I had an absolutely horrifying thought. You could be climbing this ladder completely unaware that there's a shiny golden spider waiting to do you an entire heart of damage, or 2 hearts damage if it's Master Quest 3D, at the top. Take damage, you fuck. I refuse to change where I'm standing in order to aim at you. Now give me your token. And die. You can't not be dead when giving me this token. Never mind. That's how many so far? 7. Okay. I think we need 3 more before something significant actually comes of all this. Now, can I pull this off? I don't think I can, but it's worth a shot. Okay, that was totally not worth it, but if you can get onto that roof, you'll get a heart piece, but you're not supposed to get it yet. There's a point later in the game where it becomes much, much easier to do. So there was one on that house, one up there, one back there, one on the tree, and there's a Skulltula here as well. So if you climb this a bit too hastily, then you might run face first into that and take a whole heart or 2 hearts of damage. Now, I should note, these only appear at night, so don't bother looking for them during the day. And I believe there's one on Hyrule Field that we can go and get now as well, but that would still only put us up to 9, I think, so that's not quite enough to be of any value so far. Do we get a thing for doing this? Yeah, we do. I had a feeling that you got 20 rupees for doing that, but I didn't want to test it off camera just in case it did, and, you know. Plus, like I said, I was trying to kill time. Kinda want to go out into Hyrule Field to get that last Skulltula, but nah, we'll come back for it later. So, I was sort of thrown off by the fact that I've spent ages just grinding up money and waiting for Dampe to dig up the goddamn piece of heart, so I've sort of thrown off my game a little bit, but... Can we make progress at night? Okay, this guy's a condescending asshole. Don't need to give him the time of day. Just show him the chicken that got turned into a letter, and he'll let us through eventually. In the meantime, while we're having this heartwarming moment, I should mention, this is the same recording session as the previous episode, which in itself was 2 days before uploading episode 3. That's how far in advance I'm preparing these. So, we can now proceed up to Death Mountain. Is there anything else we want to do beforehand? I know there is at this point. Now, first of all, how dare you be so condescending to me and yet have the nerve to ask me a favour? Because that's what he does. First of all, if you don't get the shield from that grave that I got it from, you can now go back to the bazaar and get the shield for a slight discount. This arsehole, like I said, also has the nerve to ask us a little favour that introduces us. Here we go. How dare you be so condescending? And yet ask this of us. This is the introduction of the Happy Mask Shop. And... should I do it now? I don't know, because... I suppose so. I have time to waste. I don't really want to, but I might as well. Come on, get to the point. Because the Happy Mask side quest does involve some back, forth, and sideways tracking, and one of its destinations is somewhere that we're going to be going very soon, so I may as well just run and grab that now. So, speed up mode, activate! Now, I recognise that because I have the Sun Song, I didn't need to spend all that time just chilling in Hyrule Field, but I did want to use that time wisely to look around to see if I could find that gold Skulltula I was thinking of, but it's not there. I don't know if it appears later, or if it's just not a thing and my brain's getting scrambled, but anyway, I'm not going to explain the Happy Mask shop because, well, if I did, that would make me a good LPer. No, but because it's surprisingly self-explanatory. You take a mask for free, and then you sell it to whoever wants it, and then they'll pay you an amount of money. You then bring that money back to the shop. So, we're gonna give this to the soldier guy. He should pay us 10 rupees, and then we will courier that 10 rupees back to the shop. But it doesn't always work out that way. You'll see what I mean in a moment. Okay, so now we just need to deliver this to this asshole, and, well, look, I brought you the mask like you asked, you condescending fuckface. Just give me the money and then we can all move on with our lives. Is it really that difficult to memorize fucking Keaton? So yes, just take the goddamn thing. So, bear in mind, the price of the mask is 10 rupees. We've not paid anything yet. He then gives us 15 rupees. We only need to pay back 10 to the guy in the Happy Mask shop, so we get to keep the 5 rupees left over. Of course, you're under absolutely no obligation to do this now, it just seems a little bit... It's convenient for where we're going, but, like, plot-wise it's convenient, but recording-wise it definitely isn't. I've been recording for over a quarter of an hour now, and I think like 5 minutes that's going to make it into the final cut, if that. But, by selling that first mask, we now unlock the second, and then by selling the second, you unlock the third. But, to unlock the fourth, you need to actually beat the third dungeon first, so that's a little bit of an inconvenience, but anyway. And we're back here. Bearing in mind, I've had to walk all the way back. I have no idea what I was just saying, so I've completely lost my thread of conversation, because I kind of hate that when I'm LPing. I don't have to fall silent, but in bits that I cut out, I stop talking, because I'm gonna cut whatever out. So, there's no point in me saying anything, so I'll make it into the episode, so I completely forget what I'm talking about. Tactites! This was my first ever encounter of them, and there's a wall there that looks like it's made of, at least child me and adult me looking at it now also, I think it looks like the skin of a drum. But that's not what it is, and in the 3DS remake, it's obvious that it's just supposed to be a rubble wall. With a rubble wall, she cried. Who originally did that song? I know Scooter did a cover of it, and it was good. So, anyway. Ah, shit, there was a thing I was gonna get, but we can't get it because that arse is in the way. And here's another arse. Garons! I'm gonna talk to you even though I already know about you. These are the Chapter 2 Kokiri, if you will. These are the people we're going to be helping in order to get the next spiritual stone. And it's kind of funny how this game could very easily be relatively open world in its various acts, but it still railroads you into a specific order. Like, you have to do the Kokiri Forest first, obviously, because that's where you start. But then you have to do the second, and then the third area third, even though, realistically, you could do them in any order. And I think, technically, you can, like, get the item from the second dungeon and then just leave and start working on the third area, but I don't know how far you'd get successfully, so... Asshole! Are you blind? I was shielding and I am quite offended. But yeah, I'm not gonna bother experimenting with it because there wouldn't really be much of a point. I'm coming up on 20 minutes and I have no idea how much of this is going to actually be in the episode. But we have business to attend to here in the lovely, lovely Goron City. I don't remember the exact order of operations here, as it were. Because there's a thing we need to get, there's a stuff we need to do. We've got a cake to bake, we've got no clue at all. This is where the Goron's Ruby would be, we would be able to just waltz up and take the spiritual stone, but no. Now, how does one go about doing this? We need to light those torches somehow. Ah, yes, I remember now. So, if you talk to the various Gorons, you'll find out that we need to come down here and, well, we need to speak to the village elder or the tribe leader, because, well, we need to get the spiritual stone from him, and we need to prove our worth by playing Zelda's Lullaby to prove that we have some connection with the royal family. Darunia, my pancake, you don't know me yet. And of course it's gonna go on this whole tangent about, oh, when I heard the song of the royal family, I thought there'd be someone important, but no, it's just a child. Which, to you I say, rude, but also fair enough. Okay, that's taking it a bit too personally. He's in no mood to speak to us. But, what he does have are lit torches, but he's also explaining the problem to us. Bomb flowers are in short supply, and they're starving because they could eat any rocks, but they've grown so spoiled that they will only eat rocks from the Doggo's Cavern now, and so we need to go and clear that out. But, in the meantime, a nice little view of inside him there. He has lit torches, the rest of the city doesn't, so let's get this party turned, by which I mean lit, by which I mean, haha, I'm funny. Now, I have no reason to put that stick out, because that's just going to waste time, but I've said before, I am not fond of timing-based Deku stick puzzles, because I get so paranoid. You just do your ballerina moves there, Link. Just spinning around and around like some sort of Rihanna Beyonce figure. Light these bomb-ass flower wall things. Now, did that light the torches upstairs? Because that's the real reason we're here. Now that over there is the Goron shop. It has something in it that intrigues me as a child, but it becomes story relevant later, so there's no point worrying about it. I'll explain it, like, much, much later when it comes relevant. Nope, we need to bring some fire up from down there to light up those torches as well. So, how's everyone doing this lovely day? It is still 2 days before episode 3 goes up, so what? Why? Why did I need that cutscene? Why are you doing that? Game, why are you like this? Now, you might recognise, I don't know how close you have to be, but the closer you get to here, you might hear some really familiar music. And just light these up just to set off a chain reaction, and kablooey. We now have a shortcut to where else but the Lost Woods. Now, what the fuck away? Admittedly, you are supposed to do this a slightly different way, because once you have access, once you have Zelda's letter, Navi will start pestering you to go and see Saria, because she's like, oh, Link, what will Saria say if she knew we were going to save Hyrule? And what he's explaining here is that normally in the Lost Woods, it just plays the Lost Woods theme normally, like there's this whistling tune which is actually played on an ocarina. But at this point in the game, that'll only play on like one tunnel of like one possible exit, and you just need to follow your ears in order to get to the Sacred Forest Meadow, which is our next destination. But before I do that, I have a couple of things I want to do first. Plus, I have the you might think, oh, unfortunate Tess, he can't hear the audio cues telling him which way to go, but I have the map of this place memorized, and it's funny. I actually found the Sacred Forest Meadow purely by chance as a child. Like, I didn't know that it was story relevant. Like, I did this, at the start of the game. I didn't realize that at some point I'd have to go out of my way. Like, I didn't realize I would be led there. I just found it by pure chance. But anyway. Look, broski. You're supposed to want this mask, you asshole. Let's try that again, shall we? So, what is the order of operations here? Get up on the here. Okay, you don't want to interact with me. How about now? Because I'm up right now. Why? Why? Surely, you're supposed to want this. Is it you? Or is it... No, I'm fairly sure it's you. Why aren't you... This isn't what you want. I don't have the song that you want yet. Maybe we can't do this now, in which case, bugger. Oh well. We'll just have to go to the Sacred Forest Meadow as instructed instead. But yeah, as a child, in case you couldn't infer, also there's a thing down there, but I so do not want to do that. I'm going to leave that off. I'm going to put that off for as long as possible. Yay, procrastination. But yeah, I spent a lot of child in here when I was a time. Yes, that's exactly what I meant to say. And so, I found all these places purely by chance. And so I found, you know, Goron City, and... yeah, it's this one, and then left and up. Yeah, I found Goron City, but when I first found it, I didn't bother reading the name. I ended up misreading it as Bologna City. Not the correct spelling of Bologna, which Americans mispronounce as Bologna, but... that's how I ended up misreading it, and I thought, oh, we're going to need to come back with the Bologna Hammer, because I'd heard that there's an item in this game called the Megaton Hammer, and I somehow misremembered it as that. So, yeah. Also, we're fighting a Wolfos. They're a thing. They're cute as fuck. But also, I don't know, there's mini-boss material that isn't really that difficult. But yes, the Sacred Forest Meadow, found it by accident as a child. I don't remember... I think I just end up... no, I don't remember. Did I fight this mini-boss early as a child? I genuinely don't remember. Come on, just do your thing. I could just use a Deku Nut and get this over with all the quicker, but... come on. I'll fight you. Fight me, child. You're just gonna run around in circles? Come on. Link, turn around. Turn the fuck around, Link. Dear, oh dear. This is going so well for the both of us. And you're dead. Which reminds me, I did once see... in fact, it was in that Prima strategy guide. It claimed that enemies disappear in like, a puff of white fire. That is clearly blue. And also, I'd do well to equip the Deku shield in here, because there's these, but I can tank it. I'm fine. Plus, I'd like to think I can avoid their oncoming nuts quite nicely, because you can't deflect using the Hylian shield, like I said earlier, or in the last episode. I don't remember when it was, because this is all one recording session. See, as a child, I thought you'd have to... like, it was a legal requirement that you go through here using the Deku shield and deflect every... like defeat every single mad scrub, deflect every single nut. But no, you can just tank your way through it and everything's fine. Case in point, this bit's kind of symmetrical. There's a Deku scrub, like, over that way as well, but I'm just going to ignore it. Now, this place becomes very, very arse later in the game. Like, it's not that bad, looking at it objectively, but it is very arse. My child self refuses to budge on this anyway. We're here to see the loveful Saria, Sarong, Saringrong, Ding Ding Dong My Thralala. Yes, it's implied that she's the one playing the tune that you hear in the forest, and it's by following her that we ended up here. But, as I said, I have the whole place memorized, so it's no big deal, human. So, Zarya, I said we'd never see you again, and I was ironically right. Well, you know what I mean, I was... sarcasm! Yeah. Well, in the meantime, teach me the telephone song. Because that's why we're here. We're here to learn yet another ocarina song in such a short space of time. This is cute, though. Follow along with Zarya's song. That was nowhere near rhythmic. It wasn't even meant to be. But there you go. We can now use that song to essentially phone her and ask for hints, which is a bit dumb because we already have Navi. So we have a hint system on top of a hint system, which I get what they're trying to do with this, but it's like a combination of Navi and the forest version of Zelda's Lullaby mixed into one song item. I'm not going to use it apart from when it's a story requirement, but that's a thing that you can do. Also, note this giant pedestal, we'll be seeing a lot of them. Also, that emblem there, it's got 4 bananas on it. The 3DS version has only 3 bananas because the localization team decided it looked a bit too much like a swastika. So, people in Germany, you're welcome, I guess. I don't think it... I think that was a case of them being overly sensitive, but I'm I'm not really in any position to judge. There's a hole in the middle of this bit, it contains a fairy fountain, but honey, I am good. I just have one last thing to do before ending this episode. Been recording for, it literally just ticked over to half an hour, just as I was saying that. I have no idea how much I'm going to cut out, so here's hoping this is going to end up being a reasonably length episode. So if we head out here... Oh, fuck off! I know already! You're telling me the basics of the ocarina, this is Master Quest! Noobs are not welcome here, except they kind of are because it's fun and different, but still... I know! But I'm not going to cut any of this out, you people are going to have to suffer through this with me. But we know how this works. No, don't repeat your ass self. Now this is something, as a child, I was aware of this. I remember hearing that any song that you learn in the game is recorded in the game, so you can look it up whenever. But I was never sure. And so, when I first learned Zelda's Lullaby, my father said I should probably write it down. And so I did write down some rather vague lines. And is it this one? Yeah, it is this one. I wrote some rather vague line shapes. And the left and the right were identical because they were just flat lines. Like, I just drew horizontal line, horizontal line, but the vertical line was a bit higher up. And that was me sort of half committing to it because my father had said I should maybe do it, but I had no need of doing it, so I kind of half-assed it. Don't need Deku Sticks. I don't think either of these sell upgrades, but there is an upgrade to be got here. Oh, well, so we can get another Gold Skulltula, just realised. So, what have you got? Nope, you're just selling nuts. I don't want to taste your nuts, good sir. Now... Buggety buggety bug bug bugs, biggity boggity boo. Hoobity boobity boobs. Now just... If you hear a little jingle now, that means that they have successfully found the dirt patch, but I'm gonna duplicate my bugs, because as long as one gets in there, that's enough to trigger the Skulltula. I think in the 3DS version, it makes sure that, like, all three have to climb in there, otherwise it doesn't, like, you're forced into watching all three go in, so you can't duplicate that way, but you can still duplicate the normal way. Anyway, butterflies over here. Wonder what that could mean. There's a hole! We fell down the hole. Forest stage. Come here wearing a mask, you'll be judged. Simple as that. Now, I believe there are two masks that they like. I think this is one of them. I'm being mobbed. I don't think you can attack them, just come over and talk to this one, and then... Is it this one? Most masks get a random reaction, and I believe this is one of the two that actually gets you a thing. I think do they bumble around for a bit and then bury themselves? Well, here we go! I don't know what triggers this, but wear this mask, and you get a reward for it. Yay! We can now... See, we've now got maximum Deku Stick holding capacity. Come back later with a different mask, I don't remember which one offhand, but there's another one that'll give you an upgrade for how many Deku Nuts you can carry as well. But I think that should be enough for this episode. Like I said, I don't know for certain. And before I forget, I'm gonna nip out here, so I'm safe from the danger, and pop my other shield back on. And I will say, I have been and will continue to be Tessellating Hexagons, and in the next episode, we'll get on with the plot stuff for realsies this time, rather than faffing around with all the side stuff. Like, that's the last of the side stuff for a while now. I would say I think, but no, yeah, I think that's it, we're done with side stuff. Then again, the whole thing with Starry Song was plot progression, wasn't it? Well, whatever, the point is we will progress in the next episode. See you then, goodbye!